Hi, everybody. Today I wanted to talk about hybrid homeschooling and how it's a really great option um, because you don't have to do all or nothing. I have homeschooled my children. I've graduated two so far. I have one senior, and then the rest of them, we're still homeschooling or about to start officially. So all in all, I have nine children, and homeschooling has been the best option out of all the options available to us. My husband and I chose homeschooling because we wanted to have a Christian oriented education for our children. I'm not against school, but in our area, especially the Christian schools, were just entirely unaffordable. So I came to see that homeschooling was our best option. And overall, I think it's been good. However, I have really come to embrace hybrid homeschooling, and I was not open minded about that before. So it's something that I do think is worth talking about. I feel like I know that when I was initially starting to homeschool, I would read a lot and seek out other voices. And it did seem like the majority of Christian home educators really emphasized um, the Christian part of it, being able to share our faith with our children. And I still think that's a great part of homeschooling. However, I think there was often an so much focus on the parent being the one to do everything. And also, like, when I hear of families struggling to hold it all together, especially the mom, who often is the prime educator, um, there wasn't as much of an encouragement, in my opinion, on getting outside help, like whether that's a tutor or classes or hybrid homeschooling, where the child goes somewhere for 2 or 3 days out of a week, like for sometimes a full school day, and then the parent can work on other things or work with some of their other children who aren't in that program. There just wasn't as much of an encouragement for that often. And still today, I'm part of homeschooling um, group chats on social media, and it does seem like much of the advice is directed towards mom doing more efficiently, or dropping subjects or dropping things, and not so much on tapping into an outer community. And so it's something that I do want to talk and write more about, because I think it can be a really great option that can actually solve a lot of problems that come up with homeschooling. One problem that does come up, or challenge, is just um, all the subjects that are part of education, and how, especially a mom with many children who are in a big age span, like, it is really super difficult to properly cover all those subjects. And even if you have an older child who can teach themselves well just by, like, kind of working through the curriculum with minimal help, it's still a challenge. And so hybrid homeschooling can really just be a great solution. In my area, there are so many options. It's just gotten more and more every year. I think I see more programs, whether it's through a public charter, or there also are just a lot of independent, often Christian oriented programs where parents can pay, and you can drop your children off for a whole school day, or you can volunteer there, or you can volunteer to teach, or get paid to teach. There are just a lot more options. And so for me, where I'm at right now, our typical week involves one day at, like, more of a co-op where I have to be there. It's a music program. I don't teach any music classes, but my children take lessons. In between, I do lessons with the children, like help them get their school done, or they just play. Parents swap supervise. There's just a team effort. That's uh, more of a co-op, but we do another program where I do drop off my elementary, junior high children from 9 to 1. It's a mostly academic program. And then we also have a Friday program where all of my children from first grade through high school go and they take classes. It's basically like a full school day. I still work on math with my children though, because they don't take math classes at these programs, and I just try to do math every day. Um, when I first started homeschooling, I would not have been open minded to something like that. I think I had a lot of fear, or like, I just wanted to oversee things. And I didn't like if, say, my child got away with being disrespectful in slight ways. Like, I just was a lot more like wanting to monitor all that or be there. But as time went on, and I had more children, I just clearly realized that I can't oversee everything, and there's just so much to do. So it's stressful. And so I think that these programs though um can give moms like me a little bit of breathing room. I wouldn't say it's like a complete break when I drop off my children, because on one of the days, I still have high schoolers at home. So I come home, and sometimes it's for a few hours. I work with my high school student more closely in a less distracting environment. And I still have my preschooler with me. So it's still very busy. I'm doing chores. But it feels really good because I can focus with my high schooler and not feel like my other children are just completely falling apart and not getting a lot done. I'm a I think also that mental break for me is great because I have less to focus on, and I'm a very multitasking person. I think any mom multitask, right? But it is nice to kind of have part of my brain be a little bit more relaxed, and just, yeah, being able to closely focus is so great. Also, like on the day where all of my children who are in school are at the school program, um, it's really nice just to focus on my preschooler, to do things like take him to story time at the library, and just really same thing, like feel like, okay, I'm with him and my other children are still engaged and learning, and it's great. And then also just getting basic chores done, like cleaning out the van and vacuuming it out, or doing something like dropping off a package at the post office, of something I sold or whatever. Like, it just is nice again to get some things done and not feel like it's like the idea of the plate spinning, like not dropping other plates. And so also, another reason that I think hybrid homeschooling has been really good for us is because it just provides natural socialization for the children. They don't necessarily think that everybody there is their friend or anything, but it does give them a nice pool of people to pick from, and they start to click with, make real friends. And just, even if it's maybe they only see them once or twice a week, that has still been enough to provide the foundation for a friendship, like repeated interactions. And I just think it's really good for them because, personally, for me, I do think socializing has been somewhat of a challenge. Like, and it's not like I don't like people or enjoy their company, but just it has been a challenge. And especially with homeschooling a big family, like, just plans could often get ruined. Like, say if a child's sick and I have to take care of them, um something like that would often derail my plans for like a social time, whether it's a meetup at the park or like someone coming over or something like that. It's just like, oh, okay, there's illness and I can't really do what I plan to do. With these drop off programs though, I could still drop off my children who aren't sick and then take care of the one who is, and it just works. And also too, like, I have struggled with hosting, like sometimes just my own difficulties in housekeeping and getting the house feeling nice enough. That's been it's a ongoing trial for me. I wasn't really, when I grew up, I just didn't have a lot of those skills. I had to learn a lot of the skills just to like keep a house tidy. Like, I don't know, it's just been a challenge for me. So that has often prevented me, whether that's pride, embarrassment, or just common decency. I haven't wanted to invite somebody over if I didn't feel like things were in order or I got really behind in some chores, you know. So I'd like to improve that. I'd like to be at the place where we have people over several times a week. And it's not just like a big deal, but I'm still struggling. I do host people at least once a week. We host church meetings. So it's not like I never do that. But going back to the socialization for children, it is nice though that I know that I can drop them off at these programs that I have really, I think they're quality programs. I enjoy and respect the way that they're run. I've settled on a few different or two different ones in particular that I'm happy with them. So it's nice that when I drop off my children there, I know that they're getting some of that social time. And sometimes, things are maybe um, maybe there are challenges with that too, right? Like maybe there's not the nicest interaction just because it's children interacting, but I think a little bit of that is really good for children to learn how to navigate things. And obviously I wouldn't be happy with the program if it was a very negative social environment, but so far most of the programs that we've been part of, I think it's just they're often very positive, and a lot of parents are involved and volunteering as well. So it's um it's just a generally nice atmosphere from what I've noticed. And again, children will still be children. There's correction needed, but I'm really happy for my children to have some of these experiences, group dynamics, and even just things like recess. Like they get to go play at a playground. The programs that we participate in are often on um, church properties, church owned properties, who the church decides to rent out their buildings during the week to a lot of these homeschool programs. And so often there's like a nice little play area, and it's a nice place to be. I think that it's been good because my children, through these programs, they are getting more time at, because it is like a park, right? Or a playground structure. And there's some weeks that we've gone, if I'm just home, like, yeah, maybe we don't make it to the park just because life gets in the way. So I'm really happy for the structure, the socialization. There are other benefits too, but I think I'm going to wrap up this video with just, um, I think that um, these types of programs can really help it not be so much all or nothing. Like when I say that, I mean either you're homeschooling, and usually it's the mom doing kind of managing everything, teaching everything, fully responsible for making sure the children are progressing and also providing the social opportunities. Or, then you send them to school, like a full time 5 day a week school, whether that's public or private. I think hybrid homeschooling offers just a really great in between alternative that I think it's good for the children, and also really good for the moms. I think that raising our children and educating, it's a great privilege. I'm really grateful for it. And like I said, for us, this has been the best of the possible options, but it is stressful. Like, and it is a different kind of stress, I think, than if I was teaching in a classroom at a school with, there are breaks at school. If I did substitute teach and long-term substitute teach in public school before I got married, or actually after too, but before I had children. And there still is, though, I think if you're teaching in a school, educating children in a school, I think there are some things that, while yes, that's challenging, um, I think there is in a way a lot more support versus a mom at home. When challenges do come up, it's very easy to feel like it's all on you. You have to put out all the fires. You have to be just on top of things, and it can be stressful. And then I also think um, having, yeah, like I mentioned, the chores, having some time that you can get some things done in the day, and yeah, like you don't feel like it derails your child's learning time. There are so many other benefits, but I do need to wrap this up. And um, yeah, I'm glad that these programs, though, are more and more available. And I just think that it's a great support for homeschooling families. So if you've had experience with some of these programs, I'd love to hear about it. You can leave a comment. Thanks. God bless.